This video is brought to you by Canadian Gundam. With flat rate shipping to the US and Canada and a vast selection of all grades of Gunpla and Plamo alike, be sure to use that promo code Gunpla Network next time you check out for 10% off your entire order. Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Gunpla Network. I'm the Spicer and today I'm bringing you a special message not only from the Gunpla Network, but our fearless leader, Dannick. Dannick works behind the scenes on a whole lot, editing most all of the videos you see that go up with a few exceptions, but he does all of this tireless work to bring you guys the content here on the YouTube channel and helps plan everything out. Now, Dannick has done in the past top 10 videos for master grades. That's his preferred grade, and I've got a little statement from him and then his top 10 list. So let's jump right into it. Hello Gunpla Network, it's Dannick again. I've been building Gunpla for the last 3 years, and it was during a trip to Japan that I came to know about Gunpla and instantly fell in love with the hobby. The very first kit I picked up for myself was the 1/100 Full Mechanics Barbados 6th Form and the Master Grade Exia. From there I fell into a plastic model riddled rabbit hole where I found myself mainly focusing on the Master Grade line. To date, I've built over 50 Master Grade kits, a dozen high grades, and a few reborn 1/100s. This top 10 list represents my personal taste in design and overall build. I rarely do custom work on my kits, while I'm usually quite busy with a lot of other things, such as editing videos. Building Gunpla has become a form of escapism for Dannick. You can say that he's a part of the filthy casuals, as some people would put it, who really just build to relax and unwind from their normal daily grind. The main focus of this list is really recommendation and satisfaction in the overall building process and just the overall design. But keep in mind, Dannick's built 50, that's a lot, but it's not everything. And a lot of his personal favorites have ended up on the list, as any list is. And this may change next year in 2021, so we'll see. But let's go ahead and jump into the top 10 master grades as of May 2020. Starting us off in number 10 is the RGM 96X Jesta. The Jesta may look simple at first glance, but it's actually a terrific kit. It has amazing articulations, actually a really easy build. The reason this is in 10th place is, well, it represents everything the Master Grade line should be, such as great detail, great part separation, and a fantastic inner frame. It doesn't shine in anything else other than that. It's pretty much a representation of what we see on screen, and that's about it. However, it is a phenomenal place to start for newcomers to the Master Grade line. It's an easy build, but it's a rewarding build nonetheless. Really, the only issue Dannick had with this was the 2.0 hands it comes with aren't necessarily the best, so beware of that, but generally, if you've not built a Master Grade, this is a good place to start. In number 9, we have the Master Grade Musha Gundam. The Musha is on the list mainly because of its design. Dannick loves this design, as do so many other fans, which is why it's such a popular and reoccurring thing with the Shin Musha and so on. Well, we agree it is an older design. It is pretty solid for Master Grade. It successfully ticks all the right boxes for a Master Grade design. The Musha reuses the frame of the Master Grade RX-78-2 2.0, which is an excellent and sturdy frame. The leg inner frames are reminiscent of the first release of the Real Grade line, where it's all molded into one solid piece. You don't have to assemble it individually, so it's a little bit more stable, a little tighter that way. The sticker application is light except for the ones on the head. While it's not necessarily the easiest build, such as the Jesta, it is a spectacle to look at. It is a beautiful design. And not only that, one of the cool things about this is you can store every single weapon it has on the Gundam itself, which is not necessarily something all mobile suits can say they can do. It's just such a beautiful design. It's going to be eye-catching on your display wherever you put it, and with it being more advanced, newcomers probably get a couple of builds into the Master Grade line before you jump into this, there's a lot of little things that can get lost. But if you've built a couple and you're looking for a challenge, this is a phenomenal kit to take a run at. In number 8, we have the ZGMF X09A Justice Gundam. A lot of the Master Grade C kits are actually really good. Some people will mention the Master Grade L Strike Remastered, others will say the Master Grade Freedom 2.0, but for Dannick, it is the Master Grade Justice. The kit reuses the Master Grade Freedom 2.0, but adapts to the leaner design of the Justice, including the wing/surf pack. It's quite a sturdy frame and doesn't use any poly caps, so it is going to be actually really solid. While some people reported issues with joints, Dannick never ran into that, and it has a lot of surface area for panel lining and a lot of interesting accessories. An action base is also included, since this particular kit is mostly going to be in the air as far as posing goes, and it's rare that a Gunpla itself can make Dannick appreciate a suit more, and building the Master Grade Justice did that for Dannick. This kit is another one that can be really welcoming to new builders, since it's pretty straightforward, but it's also very satisfying to look at. Number 7, we have the AMS 119 Gyaradoga. In Dannick's words, "I love me some bulk on my Zeon suits. The Gyaradoga is all of that for me, and it looks spectacular. The color separation is great, and the accessories are fantastic as well. It's an easy build until you get to the yellow pipes. Those kind of suck. They just don't really want to stay in place no matter how hard you try. The inner frame is just so beautiful, it's almost a crime to have to cover it up. This is a really great representation of the anime design, and the possibilities for customization and painting are almost endless. So if you're a big fan of Zeon suits and you kind of want the end-all be-all pinnacle of the grunt bulky Zeon suit, that's where you're going to get the Gyaradoga Char's counterattack. It is an iconic mono-eyed suit, so be sure to take a look. In number 6, we have the GN002 Dynamis. Dannick is a huge sucker for sniper units, and just like so many of us, he was super hyped when the Master Grade Dynamis got announced. The suit is well known for all of its gimmicks, and it's rare that a sniper unit actually allows you to get posability by separating the waist unit so that you can actually get a good sniping pose. The part separation is fantastic, the surface detail is great, and overall the articulation is well above what most people expected, and for the Dynamis it's kinda necessary for those sniping poses. The accessories are phenomenal as well. The sniper rifle, just in design, is beautiful, but in actual practical application, actually in plastic, it's one of the best looking sniper rifles in the entire line. And currently, Dannick thinks this is one of the best Master Grade 00 kits out there. It might change with the Master Grade Kyrios coming out, but for the moment, the Dynamis is the king. It's an easy and refreshing build, and is actually really newcomer friendly, and I actually have a little story for this as well. I have a friend that recently got into Gunpla, built a couple of real grades, did a couple Master Grades, or did a couple of high grades, wasn't a huge fan, and he bought on the Dynamis, the Master Grade. Not too long after it came out, got the LED kit, and it is beautiful. For a newcomer, it's really easy to jump into. If you just leave it base, it looks fine. If you want to throw a little paint, little work on it, it looks phenomenal on your shelf. In number 5, we have the RGM79SP GM Sniper 2. This is another design that, well, he wasn't particularly fond of until he actually built it. He is kind of more of a Zeon guy, so he's like, GMs, whatever, but sniper units is enough to get it in. So he built it, and he built it very quickly. Less than 5 hours, is a breeze, is a ton of fun, and the inner frame is actually fantastic for being a pretty basic looking mobile suit. It's just a GM basically. While the inner frame's not as good looking as the Gyaradoga's, the engineering behind it far exceeds the Gyaradoga. It has fantastic articulation, which enables it to be displayed in a variety of poses, and for sniper units that is essential. And as expected, its simplicity definitely makes it easy for newcomers just to jump in and say, hey, I'm going to build this. In number 4, we have the MSN04 Sazabi Verka. Alright, now we get to controversy. The Sazabi Verka is not on the top of this list. As Dannick still loves this kit, it's a fantastic build and is definitely interesting, it was frustrating. The funnels on the back are tedious to mess with, and it doesn't really look great. The whole open vents gimmick is good, but it's complicated and ends up limiting some of the articulation. And while the Sazabi is built to be a brick, it is mind-blowingly beautiful. Well, Dannick definitely prefers it over its real grade counterpart. The build process for this kit can be daunting and intimidating. It was definitely something that is going to take a long time. So if you're kind of new to building, this may not be the best thing to jump into for the master grade line. But when you finish it, it is going to be the centerpiece of your collection. It takes up a ton of space and it does it well. It looks beautiful on a shelf, and you can put it pretty much next to anything and it's still going to look big and intimidating. And you definitely understand why it's so loved in the Gunpla community, but the inner frame design is starting to show its age, and compared to a couple of modern master grades, it's not quite up to snuff. In number 3, we have the MSN06S Sananju Stein Verka. This is absolutely one of Dannick's favorite Verkas, a sturdy and elegant kit with great accessories. The Sananju Stein Verka is a one-of-a-kind design except for the narrative version, which is basically the same thing with a couple more stickers and less water slides. This kit features great color separation, articulation, and is actually relatively straightforward kit to build. This is a kit I would definitely suggest to anyone who's never tried the Verka line before. It's a great entry point. It's a little bit more challenging than a regular master grade, but it's not a huge jump as, say, like something like the Sazabi would be. And this is going to include water slides that aren't included with the narrative version, so if you want more of the water slide versus sticker situation, this would be your pick. In number 2, we have the MSN 00100 Hyakushiki 2.0. Dannick harassed Boomsy for a year to have him get this and review this kit. Dannick's a huge fan of Char, and the Hyakushiki is definitely his favorite suit. It's a sleek design. The gold plating is the best gold plating in all of Gunpla. Doesn't matter master grade, real grade, high grade. It's the best you're going to find out there. The parts are mostly undergated, which is a huge plus for a plated kit like this. You don't want that gold finish to get all messed up or scratched or have nub marks that show, because it just ruins the whole aesthetic. The build's pretty simple. The inner frame details are fantastic, especially the ones that get to show through, and the articulation's top notch. Well, this is one kit that doesn't have any flaws from Dannick's perspective. There are a few accessories that aren't really visually impressive. However, they are loyal to the anime representations. It's a beautiful kit and such a joy to build. If you're a master grade aficionado and don't have this in your collection, Dannick highly suggests this. And the long-awaited number 1, the RX-93 New Verka. Here's where Dannick's bias will show just a little bit. The new is his favorite design in anything Gundam. It doesn't matter. UC, Cosmic Era, it doesn't matter at all. This is his pinnacle, his favorite design in anything. He loves the asymmetry. The overall sleek aspect of the new is really why he prefers it over the bulkier High New. And I tend to agree. The new is phenomenal, not just because of its asymmetric design, but it lends itself more to that Gundam aesthetic than a bulkier, kind of more, I guess, realistic-y looking mech would look. The subtle Psycho Frame gimmick of this kit really brings another level, and it's really highly appreciated. It's a little bit coming out here and there that really like, oh hey, that looks really cool. That gives it just a little accent of flair. And not only is that a big thing, the inner frame on it is gorgeous. It's a beautiful inner frame. It's one of those that, well, the new design is phenomenal. Its inner frame, it just like it, you almost feel kind of bad for putting the stuff on, the actual armor pieces on. Any Master Grade builder can recognize the inner frame just by looking at its legs. The builds can be tricky at some points, which is why I personally wouldn't recommend it to newcomers of the Verka line. Go back to the Sinanju Stein for that. It's a better place to start, and then build your way into this. I personally think the Master Grade new Verka represents the epitome of the Master Grade line. It is a love letter to a fan favorite mobile suit design, and while it's not the easiest kit to build, and sure the fin funnels may not be that solid, the engineering and the articulation is an extremely impressive feat of design work. You can feel all the love that Bandai's put into this kit, and the new Gundam is the evolution, the final version of the RX-78-2, and represents everything that is Gundam, and what really the point of Char's counterattack is, and what so many people are attracted to that as a big part of the Universal Century and the Gundam mythos. Now, while all of these thoughts are Dannick's, I do agree the new Gundam is a beautiful design, it's a fan favorite, and it definitely deserves to be on this list, and even if there's no bias, it should definitely be really high up there. But let us know in the comments down below what your 10 favorite Master Grades, or just what your favorite Master Grade is. And if you haven't built any Master Grades, let us know what you're thinking about building, especially when it comes to this list. As always, I'm the Spicer, this has been the Gunpla Network. Huge shout out to Dannick for putting this together, and of course, keep on building.